Welcome, masked initiate, to the New World Order. Now that you've completed your time in isolation, your next step is the humiliation ritual. Your destination? Trader Joe's. Have you noticed in the past year that grocery shopping has become even more unpleasant than before? You're not alone. You might feel alone and isolated among the faceless masses going about life in autopilot. This is how the puppet masters want you to feel. 6 feet of separation prevents conversation. How would you know the other shoppers feel the same way you do? 6 feet of separation means you have to wait in line to buy food, robbing you of your time. 6 feet of separation keeps our energy fields, which extend outside of the body, from merging. This prevents empathic and telepathic communication between humans. It also causes depression and feelings of hopelessness. Negative emotions are food for the parasites.
6 is the number of a man. Man was created on the 6th day. 6 feet is how far under the ground we bury the dead. 6 feet separates the land of the dead from the land of the living. While all grocery stores have their own rules pertaining to last year's flu and a mandatory satanic ritual, Trader Joe's takes this to the extreme.
Recently, a Trader Joe's boycott made headlines in the news. Our initial reaction was that others must feel the same way we do about their draconian measures. We had already taken most of our business elsewhere. Turns out the story was a psyop, but this doesn't mean that we're the only ones sick of being mistreated and humiliated when trying to buy groceries. Coincidentally, at the same time this fake story was being pushed in the media, 1-star Yelp reviews of our local Trader Joe's, including my own, which called out their insanity regarding COVID measures, were censored, not just filtered, but deleted completely for supposedly violating Yelp's terms and conditions, even if they did not. At the same time, new 1-star reviews, which said Trader Joe's was too lax on their COVID measures, were allowed to remain. If there's a Trader Joe's boycott going on, and many of the bad reviews said they would not shop there anymore due to their draconian measures, then the news is covering up this reason by creating a fake story. First, what is the news saying about the boycott?
The publication, The Hill, says, a Trader Joe's worker said he was fired for asking the CEO of the grocery chain to improve precautions against the coronavirus. Ben Bonema, who worked at one of the company's stores in New York City, tweeted a copy of a letter Friday addressed to CEO Dan Bain and said, quote, Trader Joe's just fired me for sending this letter to the CEO, saying I don't share the company values. I guess advocating for a safer workplace isn't a company value? In the letter, Bonema asked Bain to require masks for all customers, improve in-store air filtration, limit capacity based on carbon dioxide levels, and develop a 3 strikes policy for non-compliant customers. Here are his 5 demands. 1. Improve filtration. Right now, we're using MERV 7 filters, but the CDC recommends MERV 13. When I asked the worker changing the filters if our system could handle MERV 13, he said, I don't know. That information has been painted over. You'd have to ask the manufacturer. Can we ask the manufacturer? 2. Increase our air change per hour, or ACH. What's the capacity of our HVAC system? Can we increase our ACH? We've been told that you're working with the facilities manager, but that gives us no real information. Are the air filtration systems on an energy-efficient setting? If so, now is not the time. We need to prioritize saving lives by pushing our filtration systems to their max, bringing in the most outside air possible. Limit store capacity based on CO2 levels. If we purchase CO2 monitors and adjust occupancy when shared air exceeds healthy levels, 700 parts per million, we will all be safer. 4. Not allowing anyone inside the store without a mask, for any reason. The ADA requires that we offer reasonable accommodation, which we do by offering to shop for them. If they refuse, we should not let them in. 5. Adopt a 3 strikes policy when it comes to removing uncooperative people from our stores. I was recently shouted and sworn at by a customer who would not wear his mask above his nose, despite mates already asking him to do so. He was allowed to finish his shopping and check out. It's highly unlikely and dubious that a Trader Joe's employee would be concerned with the difference between MERV 7 and MERV 13 air filtration systems, to the point of pleading with the CEO. Ben Bonema is a writer of musical theater who has been written up by The New Yorker, American Theater Magazine, The New York Times, and many others. He has won many prestigious music awards, including an ASCAP Lyric Award and grants, and his musicals have been performed in high-level venues in New York. In other words, what's this guy doing stocking tortilla chips at Trader Joe's?
Ben Bonema is a full-time writer of musicals, an all-consuming profession which he clearly is successful at. It's simply not plausible that he would have the time, energy, or desire to research the ACH of the HVAC. Do you know that HVAC has an ACH? Who knows this stuff? His third point doesn't just reinforce COVID propaganda. It's also promoting a climate change and depopulation agenda, which is being run in tandem with the COVID program. Only an AI parasite can think and speak this way. This demand reinforces the parasitic idea of CO2 being dangerous, which it only is to silicon-based life. Decreasing CO2 by reducing the capacity of the store is an analogy for decreasing CO2 on Earth by reducing the population. Trader Joe's becomes a microcosm of the macrocosm. He also wants a 3 strikes policy and to remove uncooperative people from the store. These do not sound like the words of a Trader Joe's employee, but rather the words of a government actor. He also refers to his mates, which is Trader Joe's corporate lingo. No real human being talks that way. According to Trader Joe's career section on their website, mates are store leaders. One of the duties is to make sure that every customer has a fun, friendly, and informative shopping experience.
Informative as in, we regret to inform you that we will be removing you from the store now. This story is just not believable. Our real-world experience points to a completely different reason for any revenue loss for Trader Joe's during the last year.
Our local Trader Joe's has changed a lot since last year's flu season, even more than the other grocery stores, to the point of being intolerable to shop there. Yelp reviews are referencing Nazi Germany, fascism, corporate bullying, Satanism, and the New World Order. When you arrive, you're greeted with condescending murals telling you how good you look in a mask. There is usually a line during the day, and you're only let in one at a time. Then you're scrutinized through your entire shopping experience to make sure you're wearing your mask properly. You used to have to stand 6 feet away from the cashier when checking out until it was time to pay. Now you can stand behind the plexiglass barrier and will be reminded to stay behind the glass if you should deviate. Unlike every other store, Trader Joe's won't let you bag your own groceries in your own bags. They'll either handle your bags for you, contradicting every other store's hands-off policy regarding personal bags, or will charge you for paper bags. Your only other choice is to bag your own groceries outside after the checker puts them all back in the cart. This proves they're not really worried about germs. The shopping experience is tiring, degrading, and not worth the savings. Our experiences and some of the reviews we're reading online show that customers are unhappy with the Trader Joe's shopping experience since last year's flu season.
Ben Bonema writes musicals. He is also an actor. He is being used to advance a false reality in which humans want more parasitic oppression under the guise of protection. Although we are masked and kept apart, we all want the same thing. Don't be deceived by these paid liars and their flimsy narratives.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this program, please visit thekembo.com and support our work with a donation. Anytime there's something to talk about, we'll be back with more.